Hello you crazy bunch, Mike Bradley here. How are we on this bleak, miserable day that we are in England? I was wearing my sunglasses yesterday and now it's raining again, go figure. Guitar tone. It's kind of a big thing for guitar players. We're all, and if you're watching this, I expect you're passionate and serious about your guitar playing, guitars in general, and guitar tone is quite a big thing. It's a massive topic. But I just wanted to give some little tips really on what helps makes a good tone. You know, a lot of people kind of ask me, oh Mike, how do you get your tone, so to speak, you know. First things first, no one sounds the same, you know what I mean? Like, we've each got a pair of hands and we use them differently, you know. So, in this whole kind of cliche story, you know, someone can give me their guitar, their amp, and I will still sound somewhat like myself. Just like I could give someone my guitar and my amp set up and they're still going to pretty much sound like them. But of course, obviously having a good guitar and good amp helps with having a good tone. That's pretty obvious, you know what I mean? But of course, knowing how to use the guitar and amp is a completely different thing altogether. Now, with the amp in general, there are two types of amps. There's a valve amp and there's a solid state amp. Now, for this purpose of this video, I will show you both the different sounds, because one thing I notice with so many people when it comes to amp setups is that they use too much gain, too much distortion, and they end up sounding very mushy and that oversaturated kind of guitar tone. Now, of course, if you're a metal guitar player, if you're into thrash metal and stuff like that, of course you need that sound. If you've got, you know, a Fender Twin and you're trying to play metal and you sound like this, it's not, you know, it's not going to sound great if you're in a Metallica tribute band or something. You know, you need that gain on 11. I understand that. So I'm primarily talking to, you know, your rock blues guitar players. You know, I myself, I kind of class myself as a rock blues player. But saying that, I like playing country a lot. I like playing funk. I like trying to play jazz. But yeah, a lot of times people will use too much gain. Now, on my pedal board, I have a distortion pedal. I haven't got my pedal board set up, but here is a picture of it there by the power of technology. You can see I've got my Boss SD1 pedal there. But I very, very rarely ever use that pedal when I'm playing live, if I'm using my own amp. Live, I'll either use a Cornford MK50 head, or I've got my new Cornford Roadhouse, which I'll talk about in a minute. But I just use the distortion from the amp. I very rarely will I use my distortion pedal. It's primarily there if I can't use my own amp and I'm playing through another amp, and you know, it's there if I need more gain, and I usually have the amp on just a little bit of drive and kick it in for more gain. Or if I just want to go crazy, you know, and just do low legato stuff, but very rarely do I use a distortion pedal. Now, so like I say, there's two different types of amps. There's a valve amp, or a tube amp if you're in America, or the solid state. Now, let's talk about the solid state first. Let me change amps, 1 sec. Right, so this is the sound of a clean channel on a solid state. Now, I've got a Fender Stage 100. Here it is here. Ta-da! I've had this amp for years. Now, for bedroom use, it's great. It's quite a nice little clean. Quite a nice little bright, kind of shimmery, clean tone. I don't know if I'm going to muck about that. Alright, works just fine. Now the distortion on the other hand will sound like this. If I get my little distortion pedal here, this is just, I can stretch it out this far. Little foot switch changing the channel switcher here. So if I put it all gain, I get this sound. Alright, so that kind of very, like I say, a saturated tone. And I've only got the drive on, what have I got it on there? I've got the gain on 7, alright, which, you know, over half, what's that, 3/4 way up, something like that. But it's that kind of, it's quite a mushy sound. But for bedroom use, it's fine, you know. I've had this amp, oh god, 8 years, something like that. Alright, so for that kind of distorted sound, and I think Dimebag Darrell used a solid state. Don't quote me on that, but I think he did. So again, if you're in that kind of heavy band kind of stuff, it's fine, you know. And obviously I am using a Strat with single coils, and there's quite a lot of gain there. But one thing it can't do, and this is if you are a rock blues player, you can't clean it up very well. You know, here it is on 10. Now I try to clean it up. It does it, but not to the sound what I would like. And when I switch back to the valve amp, you'll hear the sound which I prefer having. But if I had more gain in this, it wouldn't work. That's why it's important to not have too much gain, as it oversaturates your tone. And what you think in your bedroom, which sounds, you know, fine, you take this on a big stage, you're going to sound mushy, probably too trebly. A lot of times people always take the mids out. Don't take the mids out, you know, it's a horrible sound. Personally, I think when you take those mids out and people scoop it, it sounds, well, let me do it, right? So on this solid state amp, right? So at the moment the treble's on, where the hell am I? Treble's on 6, mids on 5, bass on 7. So I put the treble on 10, mids out, bass on 10, and I will get this sound. Now, you know, if I'm a Metallica band or any kind of thrash metal band, that sound will kind of work for them. But I'm not. I'm a rock blues player. So if you're sitting there going, too much, you know, and when I, like I say, when I switch back over to the valve, you'll hear a night and day. You know, this is a mushy sound. You know, so let's just switch back over now to a valve amp. Right, so now I'm in a valve. So this is a bit of gain. Now, if I back the volume off a little bit, I've got a clean sound. Now that to me is a much warmer tone. My camera broke just then, right in the middle of that playing, but never mind. I was just doing all my little kind of Hendrixy. Whatever, right? But hopefully you can hear, my volume there is, well, this volume's a bit broken, so it would be about 6. It's saying 8, but it's not, it's about 6. And then I'm just on the kind of standard gain channel on my Cornford Rodehouse 50. Here's an overview, and you can see the settings and whatnot over this. So, like I say, there's my little clean sound just by turning the volume up a little bit. That's off, just up a little bit. Get right going down eventually. Right. If I put the volume on 10, I've got your kind of AC/DC kind of type crunch. That kind of nice, funky, rocky, bluesy kind of sound, you know. So now, like I say, that's just a standard kind of setting on the Cornford there. Now, if I put in the gain from the amp, and I'm just using the foot switch, there's nothing on my feet, right? Nothing feet there, nothing's going on. No distortion pedals. I'm just going to kick in the gain channel of the amp. You might hear a little hiss going on there. And now that is just pure distorted from the amp. That, personally for me, is plenty enough of gain. Now, let me just show you how much gain I've got going on here. So, there's the gain. Now you can see I've got, that's the same boost there, but it's on, what's that? Oh, that would be what, 2 o'clock, yeah? And then the gain's on 1. Now live, what I would usually do, I would, that up there, and the master volume, I put on 5, right? That would be live. In here, the walls would probably shake like a bitch. So I'm not gonna do that in here, right? But that's what I'd usually do live. So there's not much gain. So for bedroom use, it's fine. I mean, this is a 50 watt, that's a 50 watt amp. So it doesn't need as much gain in here. Let me just put you back on the old stands. So like I was saying, live, I'd have the gain and everything maxed out. So then, like I say, I'm not using any distortion pedals, so if I've still got it on the boost channel. If I back the volume off, I'm still clean, right? Obviously not super clean, but it's cleaner, so I want to do my little bluesy. Back and forth between having gain and then a cleaner sound. So basically it's a single channel amp, but by adjusting stuff with the volume knob, you're getting two different, a plethora of different sounds actually, you know. A bit more up here, so that's a bit cleaner, a bit more up. See what I mean? So we've got quite a cool tone going on here, and this is bedroom level or house level, whatever you want to call it. So we're not too loud, you know, like I say, 50 watt amp. I don't know how that's coming on the camera, but I'm not killing my ears here at all, alright? My neighbours hate me, but they would hate me more if I had that louder, you know what I mean? So, like I say, by just using your volume control, you can get such, I'm going to use that word again, a plethora of different sound by just that volume control. Eddie Van Halen doesn't have volume on his, it's just tone. And of course, talking of tone, my tone's busted on here, but by changing different sounds here, like Eric Johnson on his bridge pickup, he'll turn his tone down to about 3 or 4. So I put that boost sound on again. So I put this is on 10. Cool, no, a bit trebly. If I turn it down about halfway, you get that, what's it, Clifford That's all I know. Quite a cool little hump to it. If I put it on the full position, turn the tone down more to about 3 or 4, I love this sound, that kind of conky wah wah. Especially by picking hard. So hopefully this is giving you some ideas here. And one thing I just thought, a lot of people were like, oh, I love my gainer, it helps me play better. And of course, yes, less gain you use, the harder it is to play. You know, you've got to work a lot harder on it, make sure your notes are a lot cleaner. That's why a lot of people don't really like kind of single channel valve or tube, point-to-point tube amps, because it makes them work harder. But by doing so, by practicing more, that infamous word practice, you know, you'll become a better player. Your sound will be better, your technique will be cleaner. If you find yourself, you know, when you're playing cleanly, doing a lot of that happening, obviously you need to work more on your picking hand so you can get the, if I do a clean sound, you know, it's relatively clean now. I think I fucked up at the end there, but shh. That's better. Alright, so, and then of course with distortion, it will sound really cool. I haven't played like that for ages, that picking. So anyway, hopefully some of this rambling helped, and of course the best guitar tone is the sound you hear in your head. So play about, use different sounds. If you prefer humbuckers, use a humbucker. If you prefer single coils, use single coils. If you want to have both, get a custom guitar made. But yeah, hopefully this has helped and given you some little tips on how to get good guitar tone. Take care, see you next time.